Okay, so I'm going to use this deck, What's the Tea, which is more of an oracle deck. What's the Tea? And it does say Fire Witch Tarot, but it's really more of an oracle. And yes, you can get it on Etsy. If you see some bruising on my fingertips, don't worry. Just another part of me that's healing. All right. Now let's see what we got. I'm going to try this with Darrell Abbott, who was a guitarist for Pantera, also known affectionately as Dimebag Darrell. Now, Darrell unfortunately passed away on stage as a result of a stalker that became obsessed. And I just want Darrell to be able to share anything he wants to share. So I'm just going to give him the floor, so to speak, and share with us what he might want to share. Period. He and both of his brothers, he and his brother, like I said, it's 6:48 a.m. and I need more coffee, have now passed and are buried next to each other. And that's Vinny, his brother, drummer. And Darrell was the guitarist. So let's take a look at Darrell's life, what he wants to share, if he wants to use this deck. All right, let me just see what I get. I think I need a different deck. I do. All right. Well, there's no time like the present to use the Halloween tarot. I might be seeing some people drag this out. It is a very nice deck. I actually like it quite a bit. So I'm going to try this. Let's see what we get. The Halloween Tarot is by Karen, Karin Lee, Lee. And the art is by Kipling West. So let's get this. Really tuned in to see what Dimebag Darrell might like to share via the Halloween Tarot. And I'm just going to let Darrell address whatever he wishes to address or not. And I, who know very limited amount of information, will be dependent on some of you who are more familiar with him to say that's meaningful or whatever. So let's see. See what we get. Darrell, would you like to share a Halloween message with us? What do you want to share? Period. Giving you the floor. What do we need to be aware of? What would you like to share? Well, I get the Two of Pumpkins. And this is usually about balance. Okay, yeah, I got quite a bruise there. All right. I've got to look at it so I can kind of read it too. So I'll make sure you guys see them, but then I've got to put them back in alignment for me to read the cards. And I get the sun. Well, he's definitely highlighting an instability or juggling something being brought to light. And where instability is concerned, I could understand that. I can also understand this being potentially that he and his brother are both, I feel like, together on the other side, which is kind of a no-brainer, but I'm feeling like he's showing me that they were different definitely from each other, and it's like the sense I'm getting here is that, and I have no idea. Okay, folks, I have no idea. The sense I'm getting is that one brother kind of was the yin and the other one was kind of the yang. There was a chemistry, if you will, a flow. Can you shut that door? Jesus. I love you too. Drive safe. Oh, that's itchy. I love you too. Stop. So again, I'm getting the two of them being brought in the spotlight, actually. Or maybe in and out. There's this energy. All right, let's see what else he's bringing up. I have to have more cards. Okay, he's bringing up death. So we'll put that at the basis. And I do feel like he's bringing up the fact, a message of, from both he and his brother, which is kind of wild. Let's just see if the rest of the cards will show up and kind of echo that. I really do like this deck. It's very colorful and it has nice art. Well, in my opinion. Let's just see. Also, you know, the situation around his death, being killed by somebody that was stalking, that was not stable and was obsessed, and he didn't appreciate the danger, unfortunately, he was in. That also leads me to feel like this is showing possibly that instability around his passing, acknowledging that. Let's just see. 9 of Pumpkins, this is being independent, and that's all he wanted to do was just do his own thing. He wasn't concerned with trying to play like someone else or be like someone else. He just wanted to do his own independent thing musically. And I think that was ended prematurely when I put it back down, and I'm looking at the other cards here. You can see kind of a story emerging. All right, I'm curious to see what this card will be. Temperance. This is the balancing out of extremes. And this is what is connecting to in his position of the past. And I feel like he is referring to his passing. And the situation of his passing. This is, and especially when we get temperance next to a card of the two of pumpkins, where there's instability, there's like mood swings, or there's big ups and downs. Okay. The Six of Wands, or the Six of Imps in this one. This is recognition. Again, I think he is talking about his passing. And the fact that this person was kind of blaming some crazy, I don't know, ideas on Darrell. And it makes me feel like this is them identifying him, Darrell. I also feel like there's a recognition for Darrell in death of his own individuality, his uniqueness, and extremes that were being balanced out, maybe at the time of his passing. But this is real recognition of his uniqueness and skill, and fine-tuning it, and receiving recognition for his skill and ability. But again, with the death card, there's a sense of instability that brings about his death, and the instability certainly would be the person that took his life. And I'm not going to give that person, because I have a real problem with people that commit these acts being remembered for doing it. I think that's why they do it. And anyways, yeah, I do think he is referring to passing. Here we have the six of, well, bats. Again, we're going with a Halloween theme. And he is talking about his transition. Okay. We get the Queen of Wands in his environment. So there's a lot of creative energy. And I'm wondering if she was a member of the family that may have come to retrieve him. Maybe a mother or an auntie or a grandma. Definitely a woman. Very warm, bubbly, charming type. So again, I had very little knowledge of the family. But I'd be willing to say more likely mother, grandmother, or perhaps an auntie. It's interesting. Here we had the Two of Pentacles and it goes to the Three. And this is working with the band. This is working with a small group of other people. And that being shown this, that I feel that it's something that he had always wanted to do, and that I think he's touched, that he's recognized for his skill, despite his passing, and the nature of his passing has not overshadowed and kind of taken on, I get, and redefined him. It has not done that, which is good. It's like he's remembered for his skill. There's that insult of, and now you'll be remembered because some obsessed sick person took your life. No, he's recognized for his own efforts, his unique ability. And he's showing me the Hermit. And this is searching for meaning, searching. And I feel like becoming aware, the death slowed him down. No kidding, right? But I think he was too busy, from what I can see, where he needed some time here alone to think. I just don't feel like he had time for that. It was just go, 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 hurry up and wait. Or there was other things that preoccupied his mind. Okay. What else are we getting with the Hermit? The Queen of Cups, or the Queen of Ghosts. This could be another, again, I think there's another woman that's left on her own. Another adult woman. I don't know if this would be in reference to, I know that his brother's wife, I don't, had a wife, so, and she's still alive, but on her own. Being shown a very sensitive woman that he's pointing out. It's interesting that he's pointing out two women. And I think he's talking about that they helped him to, I think, understand, make that transition on the other side. Because it happened while he was on stage, and it was so sudden. And unfortunately, he was not the only one that passed. The guy was nuts, and unfortunately also took the lives of some people that tried to stop him. Ten of Ghosts, 10 of Cups. And the Two of Bats blocked. That's interesting. There's a woman that very much we're being shown here, and I don't know if this would be his a girlfriend or maybe his sister-in-law, but I'm being shown a woman that is kind of lonely. She's very sensitive, but she's also extremely private. There's some things that she will not, she's very defensive of them with the two of bats. All right, let me just see what else I get. All right. What? I'm back. Oh. Wish to share. Put that deck there. Okay, maybe take this one out. All right. And then I'm going to use the Dark Romance Oracle. Okay. So what does Darrell Abbott, also known as Dimebag Darrell, what does he want to share? I feel like I need to do a little more. I get Desire and Ghosted. Hmm. See, he had that. I'm feeling like he had some desires that were left unfulfilled. That's my feeling there. That he didn't get to complete because of the interruption and taking of his life. This says unrequited love. Now, there may have been some kind of romantic situation, I don't know, that he had going on. It kind of feels like maybe somebody liked one person more than the other. Unrequited love. And yeah, I get twin flame. He may not have been able to be the kind of boyfriend or the kind of person that someone needed him to be. So there may have been like a relationship that did not work out or couldn't work out because of, I think, someone's interest being maybe not so interested. There's clarity about this now. There may have been a relationship that was confusing to him. Yeah, and this is evolving. The clarity and evolving. For me, it's like he realizes now he was not the kind of person he needed to be for that relationship to work, and vice versa. They were not at the, so he may have met someone in his life with whom he may have tried to have a relationship with or wanted to have a relationship with, but they may have kind of ignored him. They may have kind of ghosted him, tried to kind of shine him on, because there was something that was very different, two very different points that were just not going to make a relationship work. They needed both of them, the way it's shown to me, is to evolve. And again, we get with him again that independence. It was very important to Darrell to be independent and to do things his own way. Now, being a musician, it's very hard for, and as an entertainer, for these people to have relationships that last. Their careers are very demanding. They're around other people a lot. They're alone a lot. I would not want, let me just put it this way, I would not want it for myself. But, and they just remain friends. I get the card of friendship. So I think there was a woman that he was very much interested in and felt very drawn to, but he was not, and perhaps she also, able to have a relationship that would have been deep or more meaningful. I think because somebody had more of the interest than the other person, but they wanted to be friends. And now it's clear to him. As I said, there's clarity that he realized that he needed to grow and change, and maybe they did too. This is becoming independent, and just again, keeping it a friendship. That's interesting. No idea. I really have no idea about Darrell's love life at all. Shadow work. Yeah, there were things that he needed to work on in his life that would not have made that situation, that relationship with this person work out. There was shadow work. And that's always to dealing with our fears, so on and so forth. Numbing. Next to shadow work, I think there was the use of substances a bit much. And I think to numb the pain, I think especially where this relationship was concerned for him. I think how hard that must be. Many of us have had the experience at some point in our lives where someone that we're maybe attracted to is not as interested or whatever, and it's painful. And that's what I think was going on here a little bit. It was a friendship. Somebody wanted their independence as well. I think whoever the female was maybe also someone that loved their independence. But I really see Darrell as being someone who loved his. And I do feel that we're given to understand it was emotionally difficult for him, so he numbed himself a bit with substance. Oh, they're all sliding. Grieving. I think this can be people also after his passing. Let's just move the cards. Okay, grieving. Romance. I think that we're talking about somebody that was a friend to him, but that he was interested in, or maybe vice versa. Maybe the female was more interested in him and he couldn't be who she needed him to be also. So maybe he just wasn't capable of being more than a boyfriend in a very loose sense of the word. But I really do get a sense of someone grieving and from this relationship, this with this woman. I think she definitely grieved his passing. Okay. So we're getting, I think that after he passed, this a female was really went through a period of grieving. Look at that. Marriage and devotion. They may have later married. And I would say into a good marriage, very, devoted to each other. But again, I keep feeling like one of the two of them really, I don't know who this was, wanted to be married. And I don't think that the other did. So maybe it was the female that really wanted to, and he just wasn't ready for that. I see grieving, and likely this person went ahead and did marry, but after a period of time of grieving. Okay. So there's a little story there that we're getting from him. Home. And it's connected to home. So this may have been from his home area. Somebody from that area. Proposal. We get all this weird thing around marriage. I don't fully understand it. Freedom. Again, somebody really wanted to get married and somebody else really wanted to be free. There is separation. But I feel like they feel that he is free. Just a thought. And there's some clouded issues there. Maybe there was an agreement, I don't know, to look at marriage later or something. I have no idea. Again, we're being given cards of marriage, but also freedom and separation, yet devotion, and there's confusion. So it looks like there was some confusion where marriage was concerned. But I think this person, this female, likely married at some point after his passing. It's interesting. See if he wants to say anything more about this. It's significant. So it was a female that was very devoted to him. Okay. And it says gossip and barrier. Spying. Options. I have a feeling like if she was somebody that was from where he was from originally, this may have been the small town gossip issues one faces, and everybody knowing your business. I just feel like somehow this relationship wasn't as private maybe as it should have been, or that is really between them and not everyone else. I don't know whose relationship this was with him, but that's very interesting. Mysterious. Reconciliation. Uncertain and communication. Yeah, that's interesting. So it has to do, there's issues to do with communication. And being able to, again, keep a friendship. And maybe uncertain about the communication, uncertain about the gossip. So being mindful, not jumping to conclusions. Because people have their ways. Hmm. Let's see. Timing and optimistic. There's a feeling that he's saying at some point he will, on the other side, I believe, reconcile with this person. I think he tries to communicate with them sometimes. They may not be sure if that's what's happening. That may be also here with the communication and uncertainty. But I feel like for him, this relationship with this female, he regrets that it was kind of left the way it was at the time of his passing. Let's see what else. Use this deck again. I say, what would he like to share, if anything, regarding his death? What is Darrell's message? And thank you, Darrell, for sharing. I have no idea. One of you people will have to that knows about Darrell and the ins and outs of his story. Maybe this was a miss. I don't know. Let's see. What does he want to share about his passing? Is there anything? Maybe there isn't. I get moving. Well, he was moving around on stage. He's playing his guitar, performing. I think this is also maybe saying he couldn't really see. and we get running, moving, running. And that definitely began to happen, unfortunately, after his life was ended. The man continued moving around on the stage, firing. And I get a commotion, crying over you. A lot of people cried, definitely, because it was a very sad, upsetting, unexpected, traumatic passing. Oh my God, look, it says stalker, literally. So he is addressing his passing and what happened, because he was being stalked by some crazy fan and fanatic, literally. This guy was really messed up and should not have been able to get onto stage and do what he did and so forth. But anyway, he's acknowledging that. He's acknowledging the stalker, the person that watched him and be obsessed. And that this man created a lot of grief. He's saying, wasting time, stuck, no changes, limited. Okay. See what that might be connected to. And that's kind of connecting with the running card. And karmic friends, can't fully trust them. Tension, secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Well, there may have been some kind of karmic connection to him and this man. And the man initially, I believe, was supposed to be somebody that liked their music. And then got very twisted. So the foot can't fully trust them, the tension, the secret competitiveness. I feel like Darrell must have appealed as a scapegoat to this man because Darrell was independent, and I don't think this man felt at the end of the day. I know he blamed him for some kind of breakup of Pantera or something like that, but I think it really goes back down to also when somebody secretly envies someone and is obsessed with them and stalking them. And I think this also is saying that they should have taken him more seriously. Definitely. Ego. Hurt ego getting in the way of relationship, etc. Well, it was ego. And this is based on ego because somebody didn't like and wanted to blame Darrell for whatever that, with the band or just craziness. And this guy did stalk him. I think he thought initially when he was coming up that he was just like this shows that Snoop and this individual's female are getting their photo taken. It does say groupie. I don't think that's a great term here because it's not adequate. But the feeling that I get from this was I think he thought the guy was just taking his picture or was going to take his picture. There's something about taking his picture that keeps coming back to me. He may have thought that he was up on stage to take his picture. He may not have realized who it was. And I do believe, we have stalker, groupie. This guy was a fanboy. That would be a better word. And I think this is about the sadly the only card that can kind of come to describe the category that of interest that he had. But he was way too interested with the stalker card, and I don't think they took him seriously. Waste of time. Guy's a waste of time. Limited. I don't think they took him too seriously. And that's a shame. Bad habits. We have drugs, addictions, toxicities. Again, wasting time and moving. He may not have appreciated how relentless this guy was. I just don't think Darrell wanted to bother thinking about it too much. But it looks like it would have done him, it's too bad because nowadays people need to take that threat. And then too, when it happened. But that's the kind of threat you need to take seriously. Fake flexing, acts rich, flosses money. Clearly not my kind of acts fancy, shows off, etc. Okay. I don't know. Somebody's showing off. Definitely wanting attention. This could also be the fact that he had made comments before, and I just really get that they didn't take him seriously, the person that did this. Blocked. So I think that after the event, and because when we look down this way, we get crying over you, ego, and the blocked. I think it opened people's eyes up to the fact that there needs to be safeguards. People will use social media to stalk you. And I feel like this man may have done that. Regardless, he was definitely stalking Darrell Abbott and unfazed. This stalker. It didn't care. It wasn't capable of feeling. I don't feel like he had much compassion or empathy, thus the whole point of what he did. But I see no care. I feel like he needed to feel like he topped Darrell in some way, which is just crazy. But that's what I get. This is interesting. Kissing ass. He may have started out that way. Again, maybe as a fan or as somebody that was generally very focused on, again, that fanboy feeling. And he soured. Spiritual hater, hates on your spirituality, light, magic, power. I got this before. I think he really hated on Darrell's individuality and independence and seeking of independence. My cards are all sliding. Yep. And he blamed him for the band's breakup. No facts, makes stuff up, lies. Okay. Incarcerated, locked up, about to be, always in and out. I don't know about, that's Bear. Bear has a lot to say. I don't know about, he certainly did not get locked up because in the end, he had to be taken down as well. So, but it looks to me like this is a fantasist. The man was a fantasist that was stalking him. May have had been locked up prior. Or been in and out. But not somebody connected to reality. Definitely not. Grudge holder. Definitely. And I think this is interesting. Creativity muncher. Steals your ideas, copies your work, duplicates, feeds off of you. So it's kind of like a parasite. Feeling here. Again, I get a really strong sense that this guy was extremely envious of Darrell on personal levels. And grudge holder. Almost like I get a sense of him wishing he could be him. It's just kind of weird. Now, there might be something going back to his childhood. I get child neglect, bad parenting, scared of, hates parent. And we had that hate earlier where it was spirituality hate or hating somebody else that is doing well for themselves or doing their own thing. He just could not accept that. Family issues right next to child neglect. So he may have had issues that ran in the family with the mental health, I'm thinking. I don't know, but he could have been also making use of online means to bully. Because it says cyberbully. You are being bullied online, or they are, or someone has suffered from it. I don't know. So that was kind of earlier on. He may have been using that. And he was definitely chasing after Darrell. But I think Darrell just kind of continued in his eyes to win. And I just think it really got to this guy's goat. So silly, so messed up. Extra triggered. Look at that. This guy was definitely extra triggered. A lot of rage. Very fragile ego. He may have created fake accounts. I don't know to what degree he may have been using the social media at the time. But he may have created or stayed under a fake name, or, I don't know. Created bogus accounts. That looks like that means something with regard to him. And I'll just pull a few more cards just for Darrell to end this out. Marrying for money, giving money. But look, it's like not giving much. Don't know what that's about. Creeping. Maybe that guy married or was going to marry. I have no idea. His stalker. But he's creeping and always partying. Oh, great. So around people that are under, I don't know whether or not he was using stuff as well as being that kind of out there. That's just creepy, even more creepy. Wow. Dodging bullets. I can't even make this up. Blocking negativity, escaping crazy people. This doesn't make sense. Protected by haters. I think this definitely speaks to what happened on stage. That's quite something. So again, dodging bullets. He's talking about the state of people and what this man did, and not being balanced, being extreme, trying to get away. And I think this is a general comment about what he thinks about that person or felt about that person. The eye is kind of rolling like, and it says, ain't shit. So there's almost a feeling here too, to me, of like, yeah, he may have done this, but he's still nothing. He didn't accomplish anything. It was a waste of time. And it didn't make him any great. He didn't win anything great for having done that. It was horrible. Child services, kids at risk of being taken or about to. Again, we get neglect and abuse. He may have neglected or abused his family or those around him. That falls under creeping. Scarcity tactics. Threatening. He may have threatened to do this before. Just really, this guy is out there. Curious about you. How about mind your own beeswax? I'm sure that's what Darrell was thinking. Mind your own business. Or, well, I'm not curious about you. How about that? Curious about you and moving on. Thank you. Next. I feel like he's done. It's almost like, and how about you? Well, Darrell, I'll talk to you later about me. But I think he's ended it there and he's moved on from it. He's not still all wrapped up about it, but that's all I think he wanted to share about it. The guy was not stable and caused a lot of grief, and a lot of premature grief for Darrell and his family and fans, other fans and friends. So that's funny. Thank you. Next. I have a feeling he was fun and looking you up, researching you, getting info. You do that. I think that it's interesting that I is kind of closing it down with that. So I'll leave that there about Darrell. I think we have shared what he wanted to relate, and you guys can tell me what you think about it. And next up, next time, will be definitely Taylor Hawkins. So let me know what you think, and thanks for being so patient. I will get that video out as soon as I can. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.